Well, good morning. Welcome to New Thought Unity Center in Cincinnati, Ohio on this lovely Sunday morning. My name is David Kisor, and we are here to celebrate the season, to celebrate every individual that's here in the congregation, every individual that's joining us online on our Facebook Live, because guess what? There's only one of us here, only one love. Well, we have a wonderful special guest today, all the way from St. Petersburg, Florida, but not too far from original home in Indiana. So we are welcoming Mary Moore and Lonnie Nichols today, and I believe Lonnie is going to lead us in our opening.
Thank you so much. Hey, let's give another hand for the band here, please. That's awesome. Great harmonies. Very nicely done. Welcome, and thank you for having us here today. Actually, I lived in Cincinnati at one point in time, and I love this town. I had to move on due to work at that time, but welcome, and welcome anyone new. And I love this chapel. I love this church. It's got a really nice feel to it, so you're blessed to have this. If you would join with me, please, on your program, I'd like to read the weekly affirmation. Ready? The Creator of all loves all creation unconditionally, and I am one with this love. Let's repeat that. The creator of all creation, unconditionally, and I am one with this love. Thank you. If you'll pray with me, please. Dear Father, Mother God, we call in the one presence, all-powerful, omnipotent, all-loving, bringing that presence into our heart, knowing that we are one with your love, your power, your wisdom, always and forever. Amen.
Thanks, Lonnie. Everyone, let's stand and sing together. Love is my decision. And we sing, love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Right here and now, I know it's done. The life that I've dreamed of is finally begun. And sure as the sun shines down on me, I am the one to set myself free. Love is my decision. It's up to me to point down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Take it up one time. Love is my decision. Somebody dance step. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. It's no one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now. Amen. And now's the time where we turn and wave and say hello to one another. If you're with somebody that's close and you can't hug them, please hug them, because we need more hugs in the world. And then I say hi to everyone who's with us virtually. Hey, make some noise out there. Shout somebody's name across so that we can hear. Good morning. If you're joining us virtually online, please tell us where you're listening from. I bet you we might even have some people from Florida that know you're speaking today. Who knows? But let us know. You don't have to let us know, if you're still in your pajamas or not. But I bet Peg is. She always is.
With her
But
coffee.
we stand up, we swing that cup of coffee if you're online, but let us know that you're here and things are going well. And now's the time when we kick it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Woo! I feel a good vibration, healing and transformation all through this congregation. Must be unity. The experience is our vision. Universal wholeness is our vision. Be who you are, you got permission. Must be unity. NTUC unity. Yeah.
Man.
You may be seated. And if you would, look at your screens and say with me our mission and vision statements. Our mission statement is, in God, we are an inclusive, abundant community, experiencing love, transforming lives, and serving others. And our vision statement is, we create a world of harmony and oneness, a place of loving stewardship, sacred connections, and pure joy, where all are welcomed with honor and respect. And what we would like you to know about this place is that wherever you are on your spiritual path, whatever spiritual path you're on, it has brought you here, and you are welcome. And we are blessed to have you. And if it's your first time, or first time in a long time, we have a newcomers table in the back, and Roylene will be back there after service. And she will give you a packet and a little gift and tell you anything you'd like to know about our center. So welcome. We're very glad that you're here.
And there are things going on around the center. Isn't it great that many of us are vaccinated now? Things are opening up, and we are very, very excited about that. And so, for all the events that are happening around, check the website, the email blast, or the Facebook event for detailed information. Just want to highlight a few. Online chair yoga with Brenda Zuckmeister. You get to sit in your chair and do yoga. How about that? Holding the class on Zoom Tuesday in June. That's 5 Tuesdays. There are 5 Tuesdays in June from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Cost of $45 for the entire series. Pre-registration link is on the email blast on the website, on Facebook, or by calling the center. A Course in Miracles is happening. Whether you've just started or a long-time student, this group will help you deepen your understanding and practice, facilitated by our very own Susan Bartels. The group meets every second and fourth. Stay with the even numbers, David. Second and fourth Wednesday of the month in Friendship Hall at 6:30. It used to be online, right? And we are meeting in person downstairs at Friendship Hall. Speaking of which, today, Healing from the Heart workshop, and our wonderful guests, Reverend Mary Moore and Lonnie Nichols, will present this healing workshop emphasizing the power of intention and the innate power within each soul. I guess that includes me too, right, Mary and Lonnie? And everybody else in the room. 12:30 today in Friendship Hall, suggested love offering of $20, but no one turned away, just show up. So that gives me just enough time to get some lunch, because all you need is lunch, right? Oh, wait a minute. and then come back for all of the love and the innate power of my soul. Friendship Zoom room, right after our meeting today, can connect with your spiritual family after the service during the Zoom room. So the room is open right after the service, and a link can be found under the current events on the website. And in the email blast, if you're joining us online, it's right there. And so just check in and see who else is in the Zoom room, and you can talk about my wonderful tie or shirt or anything else that happens. All right. Angel's Wings shops Friday from 10 to 2, Saturdays from 10 to 4, and today, Sunday, from 12 to 3. A lot of wonderful stuff. They got new shipments in last week, and so we are. Hey, and also Galleria of Grace gift shop opened every Sunday after the service until 1 p.m. until Father's Day. Hint, hint. I'm a father. There's gifts in there for fathers, okay, in the Galleria of Grace. Masks up. It'll be very, very soon when everybody can do what we do on stage, which is social distance and things. But for right now, cover your nose with your mask and smile. That's all of our announcements today. Now is the time when we start to prepare for our meditation, and once again, you can sing along if you know this one, because we are all sacred love.
As we enter into the silence today, please make yourself comfortable, relaxed, feet on the floor. Take a couple deep breaths. Exhale all your stress. Let it all out. This is your moment. This is your time. As we call in the presence of God, calling it into your heart, into your peace. This is your time. Very gently, come back to your body, come back to your physical form. And pull that peace, that deep sense of love and compassion within your heart, pull that forward as you come out of your meditation and out of the silence, and remembering the presence of God within us at all times.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. But I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never learns to dance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember winter far beneath the bitter snow lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
Amen. Thank you.
And so now we'd like to invite Reverend Mary Moore to the podium, and it was Reverend Kathy over at Garden Park that said, hey, I've got a couple of friends that are going to be in town, and anytime that Reverend Kathy recommends something, we jump on it. And so, and actually the workshop this afternoon is in conjunction with Garden Park. We're hoping to get a few of the Garden Park folks. They're watching their own virtual meeting this morning, celebration, but we're going to meet together down in Friendship Hall afterwards. So, Mary, welcome.
Thank you so much, David. Let's give another round of applause for David and all these lovely musicians. Thank you so much. Thank you. It sets the stage for a wonderful morning, and I thank Lonnie as well. I wanted to share with you that in March of 1972, I met your Reverend Jack Barker. I had a baby, 6 weeks old, and I bundled him up in March of 1972. I was living in Lexington, Kentucky, and we went to the YMCA, and there was Jack and Pat Barker. He was teaching lessons in truth, and his purpose was to go to Lexington to seed a ministry, to start a church there. And so I met him, and he was an integral part of my foundation in my spiritual growth, and I am grateful. I had an aunt who lived in Cincinnati, and she came here regularly. So back in 1970s, she would feed me the cassette tapes and books from here that she purchased. And I had an uncle and his wife, on my mother's side of the family, who came here. And sometimes I would drive up from Lexington and sit with them in one of those pews to hear Reverend Jack in the early 1970s. So I feel greatly humbled and greatly honored to be kind of like returning home. He was one of my foundation teachers of everything that I do now today. So I'm very grateful and very touched. I also wanted to tell you that a friend drove down. She follows me wherever I go. We are a friendship of 50 years, and her name is Barb Peifel. She drove in today from Indianapolis, Indiana, and she's sitting in the 4th row on the aisle. I wanted you all to know that because as a congregation, I thought you might want to welcome her. So, the title of my talk is Love as a Way of Life. And Barb is certainly an example of that. I'm not surprised she showed up this morning for that talk because Barb and I share a circle of friends, of women friends, and she's always the one that keeps up with all of us and always loving us. We all have different stories and different pathways, but she's always loving all of us. So it's so appropriate to have her here. Myrtle Fillmore said, God is love. And out of that lovingness gives us life, it gives us peace, it gives us joy, it gives us good health, it gives us happiness. Myrtle Fillmore said that years ago. God is love. So if God is love, everything, our bodies, the planets in their orbit, everything is love. God is love. So everything is love. And it's love that actually keeps the planets in their orbit. Everything is love. Love as a way of life, where we open our hearts and we just love unconditionally as best that we can. And when we fail, we might say, I'm sorry, and regroup ourselves and move forward again. In that effort, with that intention, with that purpose, to being as loving as we can possibly be. That is the journey, that is the quest, and that is the opportunity. Everything in life is just an opportunity. It's not a challenge, it's not a problem, it's just an opportunity. In 1940 and 1941, in England, the Germans were bombing the major cities in England. And so they were bombing them like every day or every other day. So the British people, as we all do, we want to protect our infants, our youth. So they sent all the babies to the countryside out of the cities. And they made sure that they had all the food, all the clothing, all the warm blankets, sheets, everything they needed to be comfortable and to grow. Except there was a very, very high infant mortality rate. What do you think they were missing? Thank you. So they decided they were going to send in professional nannies. And they said, do everything that's already being done for them, but we want enough sent in that these children begin to have one nanny per so many babies, so that when they awaken in the morning, they recognize the person that's with them. And we want you to talk to them, we want you to have conversation with them, and we want you to pay attention to them and play with them and give them that sense of connection and continuity. And they did. And the infant mortality rate dropped. John Lennon was born October 9th, 1940, in Liverpool, England. That night, they were bombing Liverpool. And what does his mother do? She scoops him up in her arms, gets under the hospital bed, and they sleep there together throughout the night. Do you think at that moment, perhaps, he said, give peace a chance, or imagine, or all you need is love? I know the babies are sponges, and I know that they know their environment, but I think it's so important to know that his mother loved him so much, she was going to do everything she could to protect him. have a wedding ceremony, which I perform sometimes, and it says to love and to be loved. Love is what we need. Love is what we need. We can see from the example that I gave just a few minutes ago that love is as important as the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. It is essential to our well-being, that connection. That's why we gather. That's why we gather in groups to have conversations, to remind ourselves of the truth of our being. Prince Charles and Diana Spencer announced their engagement. And the reporter who was interviewing them at the time put a microphone up to them and said, "So I suppose you're in love." And Diana goes and does her shy die thing. "Of course." And Prince Charles goes, "Well, whatever in love means," in his stoic way. "I just love these people that are willing to be in our public life to mirror and show us who we are." I studied under Louise Hay, and she would say to us in our classes, she would say, "Now be aware of what you are concerned about, because that is where dis-ease begins." As we all know, she had a life-threatening illness and put it in reverse, put it in remission. And so she would talk to us about where dis-ease starts. It starts with discomfort of the heart. "Oh, I'm ashamed that I'm in love." Or it starts with, "Oh, that's happening in my body, but I'm not going to talk about it." And it's not like we have to be crude or express everything that's happening with our body. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that inner comfort where we just go, "Oh, that's going on." And we might share it with one other friend, and they pray with us, or a small group of people as a prayer support group. That's a very healthy kind of sharing. One morning, I was in the back of a Unity church. I had just spoken, and there was a woman there, and I had known her for quite some time. And so we were talking about something going on with her body, and there was no one else around, and it was two women, and I said, "Oh, I've had that." And she just went like this. And I thought, wow. Two women talking in confidence. No one else is around. No one else could hear. And yet she literally was jarred back by the word that I used about the condition in the body that she was talking about. I said, "Oh, I've had that." That is a sign, and that's a clue for us, that there is a point of dis-ease there. I have a friend who's about 75 years old. She has about 50% of her hearing. And when I'm working with people, she's been working for some time with this, and it's come to the point where she feels like it's genetic, and she just has to be a little girl and go, "Okay, I'm just going to accept it." And I'm like, "No, you're not going to accept this." Because Reverend Jack Barker used to talk to us all the time about be healed in consciousness. He said, if I pray and I pray and I pray for someone or myself, and they go ahead and perhaps the body drops and they leave this planet, the most important thing that I know is that they were healed in consciousness. That means they'll never have to go back and do that again. So I'm talking to my friend. I said, "I want you to stretch that out and think of that in long terms. I don't want you at some point to have to go through this again. No, we're going to break this down now. We're going to stop this thought pattern." So I said, "You call me and we'll talk." So we talked, and we began going to that point where she remembered that she disconnected. And the point was, she was approximately around 10 years old. Her father was a traveling salesman. Her mom was a homemaker. And her father developed polio. And all of a sudden, the family, there were 3 children, she was one of them. The whole family dynamic shifted. Mom had to go to work. Dad was having a lot of difficulty. And the mother began soliciting the 3 children to help her take care of her father. And she didn't want to hear it. Well, I just put up above her head a big picture of pink liquid love. And we just began going down through every visual image and experience she had with that experience. Now, I'm like Reverend Jack Barker. I mean, when I got through with the phone session, she wasn't hearing, but I didn't care. I just wanted to do my part in breaking apart that thought pattern and bringing her into this now moment of her empowerment. Because Louise Hay used to say to us all the time, the point of power is in the present moment. Doesn't matter about yesterday, doesn't matter about tomorrow. The point of power is in the present moment. And so we just stay in that present moment and we begin to break apart and unravel our thought patterns and stay in that ever-present loving heart. Because the head and the heart meet, nothing is impossible. A thought plus a feeling equals a demonstration in our life. A thought plus a feeling equals a demonstration in our life. So we're going to talk more about that this afternoon for those of you who can join us. There was a young man named Tony. He had 2 little girls, and he was married to someone who was not responsible, couldn't hold down a job, and loved to party hardy. So he said, I'm just really finished with this at around 8 years of being together. And the little girls were about 4 and 6 years of age at the time. So he begins divorce proceedings. She's furious with him, wants full custody of the children, and he doesn't push back very much because he feels like he's going to end up with full custody because he realizes what the limitations are upon her. And her parents are furious with Tony, have nothing good to say about Tony. She decides that she's going to say that he was physically abusive to the little girls. Well, we're all innocent until proven guilty, but if any of you know about the family court system, you are guilty until proven innocent, oftentimes for the protection of the children. So the children, he's not allowed to see the children. He does not see those little girls for 2 years. She begins acting like she is, and she takes them to the bars where she wants to party. She puts them in the back with chips and soda while she parties up front. Well, the social worker begins to hear about some of her activities, and she begins to realize that the father is the quality parent, not the mother. And in the meantime, what does Tony do? And this is very, 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 very important. Tony goes inside. Because what happens? We manifest who and what we are. So Tony leaves Florida and goes to the North Carolina mountains to pray, to meditate, and to work on forgiveness of his soon-to-be ex-wife. So Tony is working on himself, and that's where he needs to be, right? To go into that inner quiet sanctuary where we went this morning and just stay there while all the turbulence spins around you. And he's in that stillness and that silence. So he's making trips back and forth and working on himself. Well, the social worker begins to see who has the issues. And her parents, the mother's parents, come forward and say, hey, we see what's going on. We will do a deposition. We'll go to court in your behalf. We want to see you get full custody of the children. We know they belong with you. The parents who had been alienated and away from him began saying, we'll help you raise these children. We'll keep them after school, whatever we can do to help you. And they began giving him money to help him make transitions and do what he needed to do to take care of these two little girls. So as with everything in life, there are cycles, and he gets these babies back. And they're reunited, and life is good. Tony sets the bar high for all of us, though. He says to his ex-wife, listen, my door is open. If you want to stop by and see the girls, please feel free to do that. He sets the bar high for us. I'll tell you what. He realized it's not about him. It's about these children and the fact that they need two parents to help them grow and develop. That's all that was important. What do the girls need? So the oldest girl is now 14, and she hates her mom because her mom would do things like, after they got back with their dad, say, oh, I'm coming over on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and we'll go and do something fun. And she doesn't show up till 4 or 5, or doesn't show up at all. So they see her lack of responsibility, and so they're kind of over it. The divorce attorney who took care of Tony's case said, you know, Tony, I've been in law practice for 25 years, and I've never seen a divorce like yours. He said, I didn't even know it was possible to go through a divorce like that. He said, you've taught me something I didn't know. Wow. So now this 14-year-old girl has something that she can work on, and I'm sure her father will help her through that forgiveness process, because he's Superman. He's done it. He's Olympics, done the Olympics of forgiveness. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a former chiropractor. He had a very bad accident and was to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, but he decided he wasn't going to do that. So he visualized the vertebra of his back being perfect, and he's now walking around instead of in a wheelchair. And he goes all over the world and gives seminars. And he does a lot of medical research to back up his findings. So he was giving this week-long workshop on love, and he asked this man who had some physical problems, do you mind if I take a blood sample beginning and at the end of the week? He said, sure, it's okay. Sure, I'll do that. So they take a blood sample for before and after, and before they put the COVID virus in the blood sample. And it's just, it's at home. It's just so happy in there. They put the COVID virus in a week later, and it stays around the edges. It doesn't go into the blood. I submit to you this morning, is that how close we are to avoiding a global virus? Just loving 1 week of focus on love? This morning, just focusing on love? Are we that close to avoiding a pandemic? It sure serves as merit for us to consider this. Love as a way of life. Love as a way of life. You know, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore were certainly examples of healing and of love. You know, Myrtle put her tuberculosis in remission after doctors told her there's nothing else I can do. Just go home. Nothing else I can do. But she said, I'm a child of God, therefore I do not inherit illness. And Charles Fillmore begins looking over her, seeing that she's really healthy and really well. And he begins to affirm life in his body and all the 12 centers of the body. And his leg actually grows. And his leg grows longer to where he was wearing a platform shoe, and then he's down to a normal shoe like we wear. So we have strong examples of how we can call forth life into our existence, and we can be that. We don't have to be these pitiful little people walking around and just taking whatever God gives to us. Let's see, there's this God up on a throne, and he takes off the buffet of life and just gives us a little bit, a few crumbs here and there. No, we have, and we are entitled to, the very perfect health, perfect wealth, abundance, more than enough, friendships, rewarding service out in the world. We are entitled to all of that. And we actually, Charles Fillmore's greatest favorite quote was, God in you, the hope of glory, the hope of glory. And so the point is that as we exemplify that, we are that glory. We are Spirit's glory here on earth. So we don't do it justice by being small and insignificant and pitiful. We don't. It's when we live in our boldness and our wholeness that we actualize who and what we are and glorify Spirit. This is a true story. It's a near-death experience. And so this being is going through this tunnel of light that we all hear about. And they get to the edge of the tunnel of light to go over onto the other side. And there's this being, lovely being, standing there. And the being says to the soul, "How well have you loved?" And the being said, "I'm not done yet." So they turn around, they go back through, and he comes back and tells us about this experience of this being saying, "How well have you loved?" That's what all of us are going to be asked. How well have you loved? And I leave that with you this morning. How well have you loved? Let us contemplate that. Let us contemplate that in our week. I leave you with that, and God bless you. I have a book that I've written, and I wanted to point it out to you. I have 10 copies with me this morning. It's a pause that rejuvenates. It's inspirational stories like I just got through telling you, and an overall sense of spirit and what this universe is all about. And if you'd like a copy, they're $10 today. If you order them on Amazon, they're $12. If you buy them from me today, I will tithe 20% back to New Thought Unity. I wanted to talk a little bit about our workshop this afternoon. Lonnie and I both have had life-threatening illnesses, but life did not take us out of here. We didn't know each other at the time, but we worked through our respective illnesses and are still here, and we met each other. And we have teamed up to share with people about healing and what we see that we need to do to move from where we are to more perfect health. And so we're going to be offering that this afternoon. There will be a healing meditation at the very end that I will do, where I'll bring that liquid love down through all of the levels of our being. And we're going to just be talking about that each one of us is a healer right here, right now. There's nothing we need to do except open to that. You know, when a rose opens from a rosebud, we can't make it open, right? The petals drop off. So it grows and it opens in its own time. And that's what we're all doing. We're opening to that rose that's already within each one of us in its own time, in its own season. And so we're going to be trying to support you in facilitating that process of finding that healer within you. Lonnie does very specific techniques. I tend to take a paintbrush and paint the big picture of what we're doing. And I find that as I observe his healing process, there's many ways in which he helps to heal people because of his quiet style. But he usually, I think, is most effective with a skeletal system. He hasn't been to a chiropractor in years. He knows how to do that. And I've seen people literally walk out healthy and not limping or whatever their condition was when they went in to see him. So when they walk out, they're a new person through his help and through the Spirit flowing through him. I feel like I work more through the sound of my voice and through the healing energy that pours through me and talking with people. So we're going to be facilitating what is the healer within you. We don't all want to be alike, right? We want to be who and what we are. So we're going to be talking about that this afternoon. So we'd like to invite you, all of you, to join us in Fellowship Hall downstairs in about an hour. And I leave you with that, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mary. I am looking forward to this afternoon. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Hope everyone else is too. So here we have a song that little baby John in 1940 that was protected from the bombs by his mom had a little something to do with this song, and I want everyone to sing along with us. Nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. There's nothing you can save that can't be saved. There's nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. Nothing you can know that isn't known. There's nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nothing you can be that can't be where you are. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. All you need is love.
All together.
All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. 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 Love is all you need.
Amen. Love is all you need. Well, it's that time in our service where we do our offertory blessing. So if you'll take your offering in your hands and say our offertory statement with me. Are you ready? Online, universal, wherever you are. Let's say it together. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And that divine love also blesses and multiplies all that you already have. And so we thank you for giving so generously because God loves a cheerful giver. And we thank you for being here and serving in this service with us this morning, experiencing the love. We thank you for all that you have done, are doing, and yet to do to be of service in New Thought Unity Center through love, and your tithes and offerings does wonderful works here. So wherever you are, however you're giving, You are blessed and you are prospered in all ways, and so it is. Thank you. Also, we have chaplains on duty today. Lauren and Marilyn are on duty today, and they'll be on the sidewalk if you have a prayer request. You can also call the center, and Susan will be glad to assist you. And can we say our number today? We haven't said that for a while.
We haven't said that for a while.
We haven't said that for a while.
Here we go. And the number is
513-961-2527. So use that number if you need a healing call, a gratitude call, or if you just want to say hey to Susan. So thank you for being here today. We're blessed.
And speaking of Susan, I want to say hey to Susan and Rick back in the tech booth that have made us seen and heard today. Thank you so much. For our board of trustees that make sure everybody is safe in this time of being safely distanced and all of that, and for helping us in, and for everyone that helps out. And how about the band, ladies and gentlemen? Awesome. And want to especially thank once again Mary and Lonnie for coming and feeding us spiritually today.
Man, thank you.
Very, very nice. And here's all our online family. Are you ready for this? Sam is in Hyde Park. Susan is in California and is watching in her pajamas, okay? Susan's still in her PJs. Dennis is also watching from California. That is the state way across the nation. Mary from Deer Park. Scott is in Washington Park. David and Brenda are watching from New York, no doubt upstate New York. Lots of good mornings and hearts and love sent out to all on our virtual family. I want to remind everybody that's out there online about the Zoom room afterwards, and the address is right there in the chat. I want to thank every one of you for coming, because this building is it's been here for over 100 years, but it's nothing without the people in it. And I don't know about you, but as Mary was standing there today, I felt this little echo of Reverend Barker here, of both of the Barkers here, and so I felt that little through connection that we all have. So. Let's all stand together and open our arms as if we're making that wonderful circle all the way around this congregation, around this neighborhood, and around this world, as we know together our prayer for protection and our peace song. And so we know that the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. And Praise God, the chorus.